NSFW, what is the best accidental nudity you have seen? I was at my friend's beach house when I was 16. He had a really hot sister that was about 20 at the time. We were watching TV in the living room and she comes in to hang out with us wearing a t-shirt and loose-fitting boy shorts. Look more like boxers. To be honest, she sat near me and put her legs up in such a way that I had a marvelous view of her lady parts through the baggy leg of the shorts. I tried not to stare, but it was pretty cool when I was 16. She knew. She did once make a nice body remark to me when I was coming back from the beach, but I've always been kind of lanky and self-conscious and had only started working out earlier that year, so I just assumed she was being sarcastic. The following night, I ended up getting too drunk on air and rum. I hate rum. With some college kids the next street over and ended up throwing up in their guest bedroom at 4 AM. Her parents forced us to go to church the next day. Watched our 19-year-old neighbor and her two friends hop over the big stone fence in our backyard and promptly shed all of their clothes to put on bathing suits and swim in our pool while my family was out of town. Guess they didn't know I was there playing Warcraft 3 instead of on vacation. Edit. I never said anything or told her, and really didn't leave the house/my room that whole week, so they probably never even suspected. I was 14 at the time. A sophomore in high school. She had been a senior at my school when I was a freshman. She graduated and was then going to a big state university in our city. There's an outdoor shower near the pool too, and I heard them using it later that night, but couldn't get up to look as Frozen Throne PvP was just too important. Edit 2. Yes. I skipped a grade in middle school. I don't recommend doing it. Being younger during high school and university wasn't that great. Warcraft 3 and naked 19-year-old chicks. Living the dream. My man. Now if there was some way to incorporate Tyrians into this. Walking to school on a soggy morning. Saw my art teacher in her minivan changing her clothes. Normally, you can't really see into the side passenger area windows well because they were semi-tinted a deeper color. But it just stopped raining a bit earlier and the sun came through the clouds and shined down on the car, lighting it and the area in general up very bright, and I could see right into the car window. Mind you, my art teacher was 29 at the time. Fit and moderately attractive. Full on boobies. I was 14. In 9th grade. Probably one of the best days at school followed thereafter. God works in mysterious ways. God parted the heavens and let his light shine down to highlight Ms. art teacher's bosoms. For on that faithful day, 14-year-old/you/Majin Buluwan Spudding had finally earned his pudding. Female friend of mine was getting ready for her sister's wedding. She was sending me snaps of herself asking questions like necklace or no to me and her BF. And she accidentally sent me a picture of her tits hanging out in the dress she was wearing. Edit. Trust me. She did not intend on sending me that pic. 10/10. I guess she got a screenshot notification. There's a notification? Oh duck. Saw a hot chick accidentally pull her shirt up when taking off a sweater. She wasn't wearing a bra. My life isn't very exciting. Lol. Not exciting? If I saw that I'd be buzzing for days. Same. Seeing any part of a woman's body above the knee or near the chest is enough. I install security alarms, cameras, sensors, locks. On one install I placed a camera in the master bedroom like the husband had asked. While I was still there installing I was checking the cameras and finishing up the tests and the wife came out of the bathroom completely naked from the shower. I hastily tried to exit the screen, but the husband who was peering over my shoulder told me not to and just stared at his naked wife while I was in between him and the screen. Edit. Thank you/you/Resitip for assisting kindly to the correction of my spelling. Edit 2. I did not have X with either of them. That time. That's some next level dominance assertion right there. Lol. No. Watch. Take it in heathen. At a party in HS. My best friend got hammered and passed out in the front lawn halfway through. I was hanging with my other buddy and his GF, who was also hammered. When he decided to go check on my best friend, he asked me to make sure his GF didn't do anything stupid while he was gone. She flashed me. I failed him. You had one job. Damn it. Well, there were some really good consequences for failing. When I was in 3rd grade we had a really pretty, red-headed student teacher. I can't remember her name. But I remember she was teaching us French for some reason. Apparently she spoke it really well. I'm not sure why that'd be part of the 3rd grade experience. One day she came over to help me at my desk with something and leaned on my desk and bent over. For whatever reason, she decided not to wear a bra that day, and right in front of my face, swinging in her dress, were the biggest boobs I had seen up to that point. It was glorious. I truly believe that event changed me and set the type of women I've been into ever since. It was certainly a formative experience. This is when Ginger Tits Island was formed. Could I get directions to this island? My dad lived a few towns over from my mom, so I didn't really know anyone in his neighborhood. I was about 13 at the time, and there was a high school girl that lived across the street from him. She'd get changed almost every night in front of her big open windows, and I watched every time I was there. The cheerleaders lived across the street from me in college. Every day my roommate and I would sit on the front porch, have a smoke, and wait for the cheerleaders to get home from practice. One would always change with her windows open, and we just sat and watched, thinking she never realized the curtains were open. Then one day she waved to us and blew us a kiss. Cue the debate. Do we go over? What should we do? What if she just wants you and not me? What if she wants both of us? What did y'all decide on? Handed the Verizon guy my phone to get it turned back on. Opened Safari, and first thing that popped up was the best pic of my boobs to date. We both just laughed it off. Ooh, duck, this reminds me. When I was doing long distance with my ex, we'd send each other nudes. She requested pictures of my boner quite often. She really got off on those. Well, she selected her favorite picture of my boner and put his as my contact picture. Even after I came back from living abroad, I knew it was a bad idea, as it would show every time I rang her. Of course, the upside was that she'd always be horny when I rang her. Well, one day at the family dinner table, she's telling everyone how she wants a new phone. Her mom, dad, sister, and me were there. Her dad just looks up to me and says, "You reckon she'll install a different contact picture for you on her new phone?" Why? Why would she do that? I was in London, and my sister and I got last minute tickets to see Patrick Stewart in A Life in the theater. We had amazing seats, 3rd or 4th row center. So at one point during the play, Patrick Stewart sits down on a folding chair right in the center in front of us. He was wearing loose shorts, and his ducking balls were showing through the shorts. They were huge. It was glorious and incredibly awkward at the same time. The whole scene, he's just balls out. I still can't look at him without thinking, dude, I saw your balls. Balls? The final frontier. There are 2 balls. Smoking hot girl going down a water slide. Her bikini top got caught and came off. She had some very nice boobs. That reminds me of the time I saw a 60-year-old man going down a water slide, and he was going so fast his bathing suit fell off, and I just stood there staring at his big beautiful hairy balls flopping around. Holy jeez, I wanted to lick him. Around 16 at the time, I left my house after my sister and her 2 friends came over. One of which is just absolutely banging with an amazing body that I may have thought about once or twice. Anyway, nobody else was home. Forgot something in my room, so I ran back in. But I guess nobody heard me come in. I walked down the hallway to my room and past my sister's doorway that was open. I glance over and my brain locks me into place mid-stride. Jaw hits the floor while it burns the image of her, but naked, cupping her breasts. They all look over at me and scream. I can't look away. She runs toward me and closes the door. I ran to my room. Took a few minutes to savor what I saw, and left. Edit, they're all 3 years older. Edit 2/u/Oster195 is much prettier and smarter than said naked lady. Edit 3, thanks for the gold, friend. Edit 4, my sister was not naked. Duck you, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. Edit, didn't think this would blow up. We've been together 3 years. Live together. and have a beautiful kitten together. He is the love of my life. We had a rocky start, but we worked through it all because we want to have a future together. This comment was intended to be comical, and I appreciate that most of you went along with it. He was the one who brought up his post in the first place, and to mess with him, I left this comment. He ended up sleeping in our bed cuddled up to me. Ooh. U/Killer Ninja got in trouble. When I was like 8 or 9, I was being driven by my mom somewhere and staring out the window. In the car right next to us at a stoplight, this gorgeous blonde just casually takes off her shirt, removes her bra, then puts a new shirt on. My jaw was on the floor. Mom didn't even notice. I'll never forget it. Number winning. You lucky dog. I hope you have a photographic memory. Most people do. They just don't have film. As a kid, I always went to summer camp in a different state, and we would often take multi-day canoe trips around the general area. On one of these trips, after a long day of paddling down a river, the trip leader decided to stop on an island and set up camp for the night. As the day progressed, the sunshine turned to rain, and before we knew it, it was a full-on monsoon. As me and a bunch of other boys huddled under a tarp, someone pointed out 2 people swimming on the other side of the river. We notice it's 2 guys and a girl, and continue to watch. Before we know it, the girl stands up, revealing that she is actually completely nude. In fact, all 3 were skinny dipping. Being teenage boys, we began to yell and wave at them, asking if they would like any s'mores, while taking turns looking through the binoculars. We thought they would be embarrassed. However, they weren't fazed by this, and one of the dudes began to swim over. I will never forget his face as he got closer and realized we were a bunch of little kids. Needless to say, we gave him a s'more. TL. Doctor saw a naked river girl and fed a naked man a s'more. You gave him s'more what? You killing me. S'mores. Ducking, like and subscribe.